Hey guys, how's it going? The Beast. This is my Olympic bow, the Sinuart 68-inch. And yep, I'm pretty sure strung up, she's definitely pretty tall. I still kind of outgrow her a little bit, at least until it's unstrung. So it's got this targeting type sight on it. It's kind of interesting. I've got the Cartel Dynamic Stabilizer Dampener on here. And this is one of the new rests we're experimenting with. And I'm gonna tell you right away, if you're gonna put this thing on a recurve, you're gonna have to beef it up with a couple of washers. That gives us just a smidge over 1/8 of an inch, I guess, of thickness out. It's the only way to get it to perfectly center, because you're also gonna be shoved all the way in, and you gotta keep it back away from the rest a little bit too. So, you know, and you're gonna have to eyeball this for being straight, unless you got something to do that with. I eyeballed it, it's straight, I'm good to go. Anyways, so I haven't crunched my knock-in all the way. It's enough that it holds, but I can move it if I need to, because we are going to be doing some testing with different rests with this thing, okay? And I'm still getting used to this whole little targeting little thing here, and I think I'm gonna buy some extras, because it is just cheap plastic on the end. I think I might even go to a whole metal sight for this. I found a few options, and technically this is a right-handed sight anyhow, because the numbers are actually upside down. And it's like, okay, well, they could have put them the other way, but whatever. So technically it reads that we're at about 36 yards when we're actually only at 10 yards. But part of that is because of the way I have this mounted. I just followed the pictures that they showed, and well, apparently pictures don't tell the whole truth. But it's sighted in for 10 yards, and besides, this is only the 26-pound or 28-pound model. They do have this up to 36-pound limbs, and a 28-inch draw for me. I'm pulling 26 pounds, and I have retested it since the string is stretched, and I've recalibrated the brace height. So the brace height's actually at 8.5. It goes from 8.3 to 9.5. So I'm at about 8.5, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. It's working well for me. I just got to make sure I remember where I set it, and so I'll just mark it somewhere down on something. But I've got my 700 spined arrows. I did try some 520s already, my camo arrows, and yeah, that's a no-go. That's like way too much weight of an arrow for this bow to handle at 26 pounds. But these arrows are designed to go up to 30 pounds tops, so because they are 700 spine. And so I'm gonna have to order some more in, because I want some with changeable field tips, so I can also get more field tip weight, because these are only like 85 grain tips, and they're not removable either. So it's kind of like, well, I'll just order in some arrows from Atmos, and away I go. Now, the idea behind this rest, here's something that's very critical you have to know. It does not matter if this rest is on a compound bow or you put it on a recurve. If you want to shoot your arrows, especially your feathers, without ripping them off, okay, you're going to have to change the direction of your fletchings so that your oddball is up. And the same with your compound. If you want to hit the broadside of the barn, well, and the bullseye, oddball must be up. And I did reconfirm this with my archery shop today, because we ran into this problem yesterday with my buddy's bow, because he's got this same exact rest, and it's like, I know he doesn't suck that bad at archery, so what's going on? Well, part of his problem was last time when we set up his bow, he wasn't even looking through the peep. But this major problem that we ran into was actually, after curing his peep sight problem of now he looks through the peep, we cured the launching problem, so that everything launches dead straight now off the bow by oddball out, which, like I said, confirmed by the archery place. So I'm set up here at 10 yards, and we're going to take a bunch of shots and see how we do here. So I'm going to do the first group shot at a distance here, and then I'll move the camera up there, and you can watch a couple more rounds. And we'll see how this bow does with this rest and this interesting sight setup. Now, because you are holding back whatever weight until you release, unlike a compound you have let off, this doesn't. It's a little more shakier to try and keep her in the bullseye area. That was a good one. All right, that's all 6. Let's go see what we did, and then we'll leave the camera by the target. All right, whoa, we got 2 right in the center here. Nice. Well done, Kevster. All right, let's put that up there. So this was not so great. That one wasn't, but the rest of them, that's really good. Nice grouping. I might have to get one of these sights for my nighthawk, and maybe I could go hunting a little earlier with a recurve. So you never know. Actually, I think I'm gonna stick with the compound this year, but pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go back here and back to our 10-yard line, and you can just watch them fly in for the next round. Not too shabby wabby. Did better the first round though. I think we're going to take one more round, and then we'll talk a little bit about this. My first 2 shots always seem to go somewhere else. Mind you, part of that is, you know, I am shooting a little quicker, but yeah, it's doing pretty good. I definitely still have more used to getting used to the sight, because with this kind of a sight and on this bow, because it's a recurve, obviously it's not a compound, you're holding back all the weight, and it is a little bit more shakier, so you have to cycle yourself a little bit quicker once you acquire that center and then fire. But that takes practice like anything else. But I gotta tell you, with this sight, I'm doing like 100% better than I was just doing instinctive, but I'm not giving up on instinctive shooting. But I think I am gonna buy an all-metal version of this sight, and I'm gonna get a little bit higher quality all-metal version of this thing, and some extra brushes, because I think this sight in the end may, or not sight, but rest, may end up being a winner for me with this bow for top accuracy. But we still have a couple more rests to try as we go. So that's gonna take a bit of time because I am like flat busted right now. I have no money. So I'm gonna have to wait and put some orders in when I get some more money. But otherwise, the stabilizer is definitely helping. I shot earlier without it, and I actually did a little bit worse. It does better with the stabilizer. So these kind of bows, you should have some kind of a stabilizer on there. I think so anyways. And this does both. It's stabilizer and dampener, so it does take some vibration out, which there's not much in this bow to begin with anyhow. So, you know, but I'm quite happy with that and with the results of our rest. The rest is working out great, so I can't wait to get to trying the other rests once we get them in, and we'll set them up. And I think while I'm at it, I'm gonna see if I have the extra money, and I'll order an all-metal version of this and swap it out, and some extra of these. I don't know, what do you even call this sight pin, if it's an eyelet sight or what the heck it is, but I will say this though, you're gonna have to do some adjusting mainly on this. So if you loosen this screw off a little bit, then you twist it in or out, because you don't have a lot of windage adjustment on here. Left and right, there's not a lot there. So I would suggest probably what I did was I brought it in a little bit closer initially and then started turning it. But then I kind of like, well, you know, I don't want it too far in, because then it gets too much out here. It's just a picky thing of mine. But I am going to definitely order extras of these in regardless, because I may even try this sight out on one of my other bows, because I have other recurves, right? But I want to get an all-metal version of this, because I like this sight. I'm starting to get used to it, and that's nice because it makes targeting so much easier when you're not trying to do instinctive. And I definitely cannot do gap shotting. I have no idea how to get my brain around it, so I usually go instinctive. But this I want to do for some, you know, main precision targeting, because the bow is designed for that. But it's also our guinea pig bow for experimenting with different things, so I don't disrupt my other recurves, because I want to leave them alone the way they are, because they're technically fine. But I may even move one of these biscuits onto one of my other bows down the road. But so far, good. Now, as far as where do we go with reviewing this biscuit, is it actually worth the investment? I say yes, 100%. Okay, it is definitely worth every penny. This thing, I think I paid about 16 bucks for it. It's not it's not all metal. I'm not sure if this is metal or another. It's got weight to it, but this part is definitely plastic in here for sure. Yeah, it does work, but you do have to beef it up with a couple of washers to get it out this way, because I'm already bottomed out in here. And I saw a guy actually doing the video about this very same thing, because he was changing them on some bows at the school, and he had to beef up with a couple of washers, and that's all it took to get this dead center. And I had the same mixture of thickness, and I'm dead center, and that's good. We're also going to eventually do shooting off the shelf. We'll try bare shelf with nothing on it, and then I did pick up a pad today, so we can put the fur pad deal on here. But that is going to be probably one of the last things we do for testing down the road. So where I'm at with this, you have to literally, and I kid you not, if you do not do this, you will rip the feathers off your arrows for the feathers. And as far as fletches go, you're going to wreck them anyway. But you have to have the oddball up in order for it to pass through properly through here without getting destroyed. Okay, it's the only way. If you put it the normal way, it's all over the place, and with feathers, they're just going to get completely annihilated. So that is one thing about this rest, and that was confirmed by my archery shop that I was right about that. Full whisker biscuit, you could do that too, but you're going to have a sight system. This you could probably still gap shoot either way if you're gap shooting, because this is opened area up top. But a full whisker biscuit is not going to support feathers at all, period. We discussed it at the shop today. Not going to happen unless you know how to modify a whisker biscuit and cut a bunch of whiskers out of the way, which he does know one customer that did it and showed it to him. And it's like, I don't know how he did it either, but that is so tedious with all those friggin' bristles in there. It's like, that's not something even either one of us would even try. So, but he said it was cool though, because I could shoot at whatever he wanted through it. Anyway, so I'm going to give this sight, I want to give it a 4.5 out of 5, okay? It's not the sight's problem for having to do the extra beef up in the washers. It's the simple fact that even though they say these can work on recurves, they can, but you're going to have to beef up the washers to get it to pull out more from bottom in. Eyeball this or use a square of some sort to get this perfectly square, because that's a must too. Your nocking point. Now, here's the thing about the nocking point with this. I tried 3-finger under shooting earlier. I just shot one arrow and it skipped right underneath. It's just will not work for 3-finger under with this rest, with this knock placement. And where the knock is, the arrow is perfectly dead even. So, you know, you just can't do 3-finger under with this kind of a rest on here. Different kinds, yes you can. But anyways, so I think we're clear on this. 4.5 out of 5. I say go buy it, try it out yourself. Just remember the washers if you're doing this with any recurve bow, or even a long bow that has, you know, these risers with the supported burger hole and whatnot, okay? Just keep that in mind. It has to be this kind of a riser of some sort for whatever limbs. Other than that, yeah, that's our review for this part. And we'll eventually get to the review on the bow. I want more time with it anyways, and I want to really put a lot of arrows through this to see how things are going and stabilizing with it before I give you a review on the bow. So that's going to be a little while yet. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.